Hello again everyone. In this video tutorial we will be talking about degrees and radians and how to convert degrees to radians and vice versa. First look at degrees. We are used to degrees. Why? Because we measure our angles in terms of degrees and we are used to this kind of notation as you can see in these examples, which are what? 71 degrees, 67 degrees, 12 degrees, 54 degrees, on and on and on. Now we will be talking about the radians and how to take care of them. Let's go ahead and define radians. Radian is just nothing more than the arc length. Arc length means, just you can see over here, this arc length that must be same as the length of the radius. As long as the arc and the radius lengths are same, then whatever this angle takes place, this is always going to be, we call it 1 radian. As you can see over here, so these are radius, and this arc length is same as what? The radius. So this is going to become simply 1 radian, and here we can call it 1. This theta is going to be what? 1 radian. RAD. Always remember, RAD stands for radians. So the next thing that I just want to make sure that all the radians are represented by pi. So usually we're going to be calling them usually pi radians. So one thing I just want to clarify one thing. Whenever I put down pi radians, RAD, I mean we are talking about measuring the angle. So sometime you might see in other problems pi is 3.14. We will not be using it in terms of radians, so be careful with this thing. So next thing, now we're going to be doing this thing. Always remember from this point on, pi radians, RAD stands for radians, is always equal to 180 degrees. That is, you must remember before we go any further. Let's go ahead and convert this radian pi over 6 to degrees. And again, in this example, whenever you see a pi, wherever you see a pi, you always replace by 180. So pi is going to be replaced by 180 divided by 6. 180 divided by 6 is going to be simply what? 30. And that's 30 degrees is your answer. Piece of cake. How about this example? We have what? 3 pi. Once again, as I told you before, whenever you see pi, you just simply replace it by what? 180. So 3 times 180 is going to be what? 540 degrees, and that is your answer. How about this example? We have 2 pi over 3 radians and we want to convert to degrees. Once again, wherever you see this pi, you replace it by what? 180. So this simply become what? 2 times 180 divided by 3. So what is going to happen is when you multiply on the top, this is simply what? 360 divided by 3 is going to give you 120 degrees, and that is your answer. And finally, in this example, we have what? 5 pi over 2, and we want to convert to degrees. So once again, as you see, pi radians equals to 180. So wherever you see pi, you replace it by what? 180. So that simply become 5 times 180 divided by 2. So on the top this becomes 900 divided by 2 equals to 450 degrees, and that is your answer. Now, next thing we want to be talking about how to convert degrees to radians the other way around. So I just want to make sure, as you recall in the previous lesson, I showed you that 180 degrees is always equal to what? Pi radians, as you remember that thing from previous examples. So now the next thing what we're going to be doing is, now I want you to divide both sides by 180 and divide this side 180 as well. So 180 divided by 180 is going to give you simply what? So that means 1 degree is always equal to pi over 180 radians. So that is the formula that we will be using in our this example. Once again, 1 degree equals to pi over 180 radians. In this example, we will be converting 45 degrees to radians. Before we convert this thing, just recall one thing. 1 degrees is always equal to pi over 180 radians. So let's write it down. That's your very first step. I want you to put down 1 degree equal to pi over 180 radians. That's very first step. Next thing what I want you to do is, I want you to go ahead and multiply whatever this amount 45. I want you to multiply 45 on this side and 45 on this side. So 45 times 1 becomes simply 45 degrees equals to, this simply become what? 45 pi over 180 radians. So what I want you to do is, next is go ahead and reduce this fraction 45 over 180, and you can see that this fraction, if you reduce this fraction, that's same as 1/4. So this is simply 1 over 4 times pi radians, or simply pi over 4 radians is our answer. Let's look at this next example. We want to convert 135 degrees to radians. So once again, as you recall, 1 degrees. So very first step is, I want you to put down 1 degree equals to pi over 180 radians. Next step, I want you to put down whatever this 135, you multiply both sides by 135 of this equation. So now you can see 135 times 1 is 135 degrees, and this could be written as 135 pi over 180 radians. Now, the next step, what I want you to do is, once again, I want you to go ahead and reduce this one over here. 135 divided by 180. So you can see over here, this, if you divide it by 45 and you divide this one by 45, so we're gonna get what? 3 over 4. That's our reduced fraction. So I can write this as 3 pi over 4. This is our answer, radians, and that is our answer. And finally, how about this example? We want to convert 720 degrees to radians. Once again, recall. Once we're going to recall what? 1 degree equal to pi over 180 radians. Just go ahead and do this thing. The next step, whatever this amount, 720, just go ahead and multiply 720 on both sides of this equation. So 720 times 1 becomes 720 degrees equal to, this simply become 720 over what? 180 times pi radians. So now the next step is just to reduce these fractions. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 720 divided by 180. As you can see, zeros, they simply cross out. What we got is simply 72 over 18, and that is simply equal to what? 4. So that means we simply got what? We simply got, this is reduced to what? 4 pi radians is our answer. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.